Tēnā tātou katoa. Good evening. Newshub can reveal the government's planning to supercharge our under-resourced electric vehicle charging network by building charge hubs similar to petrol service stations along our state highway network. It's all part of a goal to have 30% of our transport fleet electrified by 2030. They want to build 25 to 34 new hubs, meaning there would be a hub every 150 kilometres along our state highways. And rural New Zealand, they haven't forgotten you. They want a charger in every small town that has a population of more than 2,000 people. Political editor Jenna Lynch has this exclusive story.
Randy's had his EV a while now, but recently he's been running out of places to charge.
Back in the days when I had this car, what 2-3 years ago, it was all empty. Nowadays, you have like 4 cars queuing.
Too many cars, not enough chargers, and if you're off on a long-distance roadie, that's a big problem.
It is quite limited at the moment, so you have to plan ahead.
The Transport Minister knows it.
That range anxiety issue, am I going to be able to get to where I need to and have somewhere where I can charge without getting caught out?
So this is what the government's got planned, a service centre built specifically for electric vehicles. This is Europe's largest one. Our Transport Minister quite likes the look of it. He wants mega hubs like this with multiple chargers that can fill you up in 15 to 45 minutes every 150 to 200 k's. The government has no idea how much it'll cost, but the industry says it won't come cheap.
Mega charging hubs are required. They are a big cost, 10 million plus.
Investors like Govt are ready to go. They just need the government green light.
EV infrastructure in New Zealand has been a challenge to date. The transition to EV is one of the highest adopting rates in the world. Now we have to look at infrastructure.
On top of mega hubs, the government also wants chargers in every small town and one public charger for every 20 to 40 EVs in urban areas. And it's considering compulsory EV chargers in every single new build.
It is something that's become a requirement in a number of overseas jurisdictions.
All that could put a massive strain on the electricity grid.
We also need to make sure that we have things like smart charging technology that enable us, when you go home and you plug your car in at home, to make sure that we spread the load and that we don't overload the network.
All necessary because the government has set a target of 30% of cars being electric by 2030.
At the moment, it's just over 1% of the fleet that's electric. It's a long way to go, but we are making good progress.
The Minister hoping his supercharged EV charger scheme is the road to cleaner cars.
Jenna joins us now. Jenna, one of the reasons we've had a high uptake of EVs is the clean car discount, but the government's looking at rejigging that.
Yeah, usually there's no such thing as a government policy that is too successful, but the Clean Car Discount Scheme is supposed to be revenue neutral. So the fees that they charge to high emitters, otherwise known as the ute tax, is supposed to cover all of the discounts that they hand out for clean cars. But the demand for low emissions vehicles has well outstripped the fees that the government has collected, so they're having to rethink it. They're expected to make announcements on that in the coming weeks. From what I understand, hiking the tax on high emitters is not a realistic option for this government, so Newshub understands changing the eligibility of the scheme might be an option. Currently, discounts are available for EVs, hybrids and low emissions petrol vehicles, the likes of Suzuki Swifts. I'm told they wouldn't move to making that EVs only immediately, but for instance, one option could be removing the petrol vehicles from the scheme to make it more sustainable.
Our political editor Jenna Lynch live from Parliament. Tēnā koe.